Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the thrilling twists coming up in Port Charles for the week of September 15th to 19th. Get ready for a whirlwind of emotions and unexpected turns in the world of General Hospital, where secrets bubble to the surface and relationships hang by a thread. As the autumn breeze sweeps through the bustling streets of Port Charles, the residents are gearing up for moments that could redefine alliances and shatter illusions. From budding romances that ignite like fireworks to investigations that unearth buried truths, this week's episodes promise to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. Imagine the tension building as characters confront their deepest desires and hidden agendas, all while the shadow of past mistakes looms large. We'll explore how these developments weave into the fabric of ongoing storylines, adding layers of intrigue that fans have come to crave. Starting with the younger generation, Giovanni Joe Palmieri and Emma Scorpio Drake are set to take a monumental leap in their connection. What begins as innocent camaraderie blossoms into something far more passionate, culminating in a heartfelt kiss that seals their transition from friends to potential lovers. Picture Joe, with his charming smile and artistic soul inherited from his musical family roots, finally mustering the courage to express his growing affection for Emma, the intelligent and adventurous daughter of medical royalty. Their bold move isn't just a spur-of-the-moment decision. It's fueled by shared adventures and late-night conversations that have slowly eroded the barriers between them. As they navigate this new romantic territory, whispers around town suggest they might embark on a joint project, perhaps volunteering at the hospital or planning a community event, which only draws them closer. This development adds a fresh spark to the show's youthful dynamics, reminding us of the innocent yet intense first loves that often lead to complicated futures in Port Charles. Meanwhile, Molly Lansing Davis finds herself in an internal battle that's as steamy as the pages of her secret novel. Despite her efforts to distance herself from the rugged stable hand Cody Bell, her heart refuses to let go, pulling her back into a web of unspoken longing. As Molly pours her emotions into her writing, Cody becomes the blueprint for her dashing male protagonist, a charismatic figure with a mysterious past, rougher on the edges charm, and an undeniable pull that mirrors their real-life chemistry. She reflects on stolen glances during horseback rides and quiet moments in the stables, realizing how much she's sacrificing by pushing him away. This struggle highlights Molly's growth as a character, torn between her ambitious legal career and the raw passion that Cody represents. Invented whispers from the Quartermain estate suggest she might confide in her sister Christina about these feelings, leading to sisterly advice that could either encourage reconciliation or deepen the divide. It's a classic tale of forbidden attraction, amplified by the high society expectations that weigh heavily on Molly's choices. Across town, Portia Robinson is desperately trying to mend the fractures in her marriage to Curtis Ashford, especially after the shocking fallout from Drew Kane's shooting incident. The event has left their relationship on shaky ground, with trust issues surfacing like cracks in a fragile vase. Portia, ever the dedicated doctor, throws herself into her work at General Hospital, but temptation lurks in the form of Isaiah Gannon, her colleague with whom she shared an intense, unforgettable night during a high-stakes medical conference out of town. Their professional proximity only intensifies the spark. Imagine late-night shifts, where casual conversations turn flirtatious, testing Portia's resolve. She fights these urges by focusing on family dinners and reconnecting with Curtis through shared hobbies like dancing, a nod to their early courtship days. Yet, the chemistry with Isaiah, bolstered by his supportive nature during tough cases, creates a moral dilemma that could explode if not contained. This subplot delves into themes of fidelity and redemption, showing how one moment of weakness can ripple through an entire partnership. The investigation into Drew Kane's shooting ramps up the drama, putting Detective Harrison Chase in a precarious position that strains his marriage to Brooklyn Quartermain. Chase's unwavering defense of his ex, Willow Tate, clashes with his growing suspicions about Michael Corinthos, creating friction at home. Brooklyn, with her sharp instincts from her music industry background, picks up on these red flags, leading to tense evenings where accusations fly and old insecurities resurface. Perhaps she uncovers a hidden file in Chase's office, sparking a confrontation that forces them to address underlying trust issues stemming from their whirlwind romance. This tension adds a layer of realism to their union, illustrating how professional duties can invade personal bliss. On the flip side, Drew is laser-focused on pinning the blame on Michael. Despite lacking concrete evidence, his rage simmers like a pot about to boil over, driven by betrayal and a thirst for vengeance. Michael, meanwhile, pins his hopes on an alibi from Jacinda, a mysterious figure from his recent business dealings who witnessed their innocuous meeting at a downtown cafe, but with the truth about that encounter hanging like a dark cloud perhaps. Involving confidential Quartermain dealings, Mitchell's world could crumble if Drew's pursuit uncovers more than intended. Invented speculation points to a potential alliance between Drew and an unlikely informant, escalating the stakes and turning this into a cat-and-mouse game of corporate intrigue. Shifting gears to hotter pursuits, Jocelyn, Jax, and Vaughn are diving headfirst into a passionate affair that shows no signs of cooling off upon their return to Port Charles. From the exotic Five Poppies resort, their steamy encounter during the mission there has evolved into an addictive romance, with secret rendezvous in hidden spots like the waterfront docks or Jocelyn's dorm room. They strive to keep it concealed from Jack Brennan, whose watchful eye as a WSB operative could spell trouble. Imagine a close call where they're almost caught mid-embrace in an elevator, heightening the thrill and risk. This forbidden fling explores Jocelyn's rebellious side, contrasting her wholesome image with the adrenaline of secrecy. Tied to this is Jason Morgan's moral quandary. He's promised Jocelyn not to reveal her covert role as a WSB agent to Carly Spencer. Jason, the stoic protector with a history of unbreakable loyalties, grapples with this secret. Knowing Carly's intuition is razor sharp, he might distract her with fabricated stories about his latest ventures. But time is ticking. Perhaps a slip during a family gathering exposes cracks in his facade. This dilemma underscores Jason's eternal struggle between duty and personal bonds, a recurring motif in his arc. In a poignant family moment, young Rocco Falconeri finally crosses paths with Britt Westburn, seeking answers to questions that have haunted him about his heritage and family secrets. This encounter, set perhaps in the hospital corridors where Britt works, allows Rocco to piece together fragments of his past, including untold stories about his mother's connections. Britt, with her reformed bad girl vibe and medical expertise, provides insights that illuminate Rocco's identity, but not without stirring controversy. Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri, Rocco's protective parents, are far from thrilled, viewing the meeting as a potential gateway to dangerous influences from Britt's checkered history. They might respond with strict ground rules or even a family intervention, involving therapy sessions to process the fallout. This interaction adds emotional depth, exploring themes of curiosity and parental overreach in a blended family dynamic. Finally, Lulu faces relentless pressure from Jack Brennan, who pushes for a reunion between Charlotte Casadini and her father, Valentin Casadini, initially rebuffing the idea due to Valentin's treacherous past. Filled with schemes involving corporate takeovers and international espionage, Lulu weighs the emotional toll on her daughter. Brennan's persistence, backed by his authoritative WSB demeanor, might involve presenting forged documents or heartfelt pleas that highlight Charlotte's need for closure. Could a trusted friend like Maxie Jones sway Lulu's decision? With stories of her own family reconciliations, this storyline probes the complexities of co-parenting amid betrayal, leaving viewers wondering if Lulu will bend for the sake of her child's happiness or stand firm against potential heartbreak. Next, we will learn about the shadowy schemes brewing around Valentin Casadini and his daring escape plans that could upend lives in Port Charles. Dive into the heart-pounding suspense of General Hospital, where fugitives lurk in the shadows and family bonds are tested to their limits. As the crisp fall air settles over the enigmatic town, whispers of betrayal and desperate reunions echo through the corridors of power and the quiet homes alike. Valentin Casadini, the cunning mastermind with a history of globe-trotting deceptions, stands at the center of a storm that could sweep his daughter Charlotte away into a life of uncertainty once more. This week's developments hint at a high-stakes getaway from the impenetrable walls of Steinmauer prison. Fueled by unexpected alliances and a father's unyielding love, we'll unravel how these elements converge, blending paternal devotion with the thrill of evasion, while old grudges simmer toward explosive revenge. Imagine the tension as characters grapple with moral dilemmas, their choices rippling out to affect everyone from worried parents to vengeful operatives. The drama kicks off with young Charlotte Casadini voicing her deep frustrations during a heated moment in the September 9th episode, confiding in her stepbrother Rocco Falconeri about the stifling restrictions imposed by her mother. Lulu Spencer, punished for a minor rebellion, perhaps sneaking out to explore the abandoned Casadini estate grounds. Charlotte laments the loss of her adventurous past, yearning for the nomadic freedom she once shared with her father. Picture her in a dimly lit room at the Spencer home, sketching maps of far-off places they visited, from the sun-drenched beaches of Greece to hidden European hideaways, as she admits how the structured life in Port Charles feels like a cage. This longing isn't just nostalgia, it's a profound ache for the thrill of uncertainty, where every day brought new horizons. Invented details suggest she might even stash away a secret journal filled with coded messages from Valentin's old letters, fueling her daydreams of escape. Her confession to Rocco, who listens with wide-eyed empathy drawn from his own family upheavals, underscores a growing rift with Lulu, highlighting Charlotte's rebellious spirit, inherited from her Casadini lineage, a blend of cunning intellect and fierce independence that could lead her straight into danger. Building on this emotional turmoil, spoilers tease that Charlotte's dissatisfaction might evolve into a full-fledged desire to vanish from Port Charles altogether, reuniting with Valentin in a life on the lam, since a part of her regrets ever being rescued from their previous escape. December, those tense months dodging authorities after Valentin's corporate scandal could see another disappearance as a path to reclaiming her sense of adventure. Envision Charlotte practicing survival skills in secret, like packing a go bag with essentials such as a compass from her grandfather's collection and encrypted notes on safe houses, all while pretending to comply with Lulu's rules. This internal conflict adds depth to her character, portraying her not as a naive child, but as a young girl shaped by chaos, whose loyalty to her father clashes with the stability Lulu provides. Perhaps she shares these forbidden wishes in a hushed conversation with a school friend, unknowingly setting the stage for word to reach Valentin's ears through underground channels. It's a narrative thread that explores the psychological pull of a tumultuous upbringing, where the allure of freedom overshadows the safety of normalcy, potentially drawing Charlotte into a web of international intrigue once more. Of course, Valentin's path to freedom from the fortress-like Steinmauer prison won't come easily. He'll require a clever breakout strategy to evade its ironclad security measures, including round-the-clock guards and state-of-the-art surveillance. Yet, fortune favors the bold. As teasers reveal, he'll seize an opportunity to become a free man, transforming his captivity into a launchpad for bolder moves. Imagine the prison's dimly lit cells, where Valentin, with his sharp mind honed from years of outmaneuvering rivals like the Quartermaines, plots his next chess move. This chance at liberty isn't mere luck, it's the culmination of whispered negotiations and calculated risks, setting the scene for a dramatic shift in his storyline from prisoner to predator. Crucial to this escape is the arrival of an unforeseen ally, someone from the shadows of Port Charles' underbelly who steps up to aid Valentin in his daring bid for freedom. This mysterious figure, perhaps a disgruntled former WSB operative with insider knowledge of Steinmauer's vulnerabilities, or even a distant Casadini relative seeking to reclaim family influence, offers not just logistical support, but a potential new pact. Picture a clandestine meeting in a foggy prison visiting room, where coded messages are exchanged via seemingly innocent gifts, like a book with hidden blueprints of escape routes. This alliance could involve smuggling tools disguised as medical supplies, exploiting a brief power outage engineered from the outside. Invented elements suggest this helper might be motivated by a personal vendetta against Jack Brennan, aligning their goals with Valentin's thirst for payback. The deal struck could include promises of shared spoils from Valentin's hidden fortunes, adding layers of betrayal and opportunism that enrich the plot's intrigue. As Valentin weighs this partnership, it underscores his resourcefulness, turning a desperate situation into a calculated gamble that could either liberate him or ensnare him in deeper treachery. Following his liberation, Valentin demands a long-awaited visit with Charlotte, a pivotal encounter where emotions run high and truths spill out. During this reunion, possibly arranged under the guise of a supervised family therapy session at a neutral location, like the Metro Court Gardens, Charlotte opens her heart about the void left by their separation. She might describe vivid memories of their time in hiding nights under starry skies in remote cabins, sharing stories of Casadini legends, admitting how she pines for that bond and dreams of vanishing together again. Valentin, his eyes reflecting a mix of paternal love and ruthless determination, absorbs her words, perhaps slipping her a symbolic token like a locket from their past adventures. This moment fuels his resolve, blending genuine affection with his manipulative tendencies, as he envisions a future where they rebuild their duo against the world. This heartfelt exchange propels Valentin toward a drastic resolution, motivating him to collaborate fully with his enigmatic ally and orchestrate a plan to make Charlotte's wishes a reality. missing the shared thrills of their former life-evading pursuers through bustling cities, or decoding ancient family secrets. Valentin sees this as a chance to restore what was lost. Envision him mapping out routes on a smuggled tablet, incorporating safe houses in exotic locales like the Swiss Alps or Brazilian rainforests, all while vowing to protect her from the dangers he knows too well. Added inventions point to him recruiting minor accomplices, such as a tech-savvy hacker to disable tracking devices, emphasizing his strategic genius. For both father and daughter, this scheme represents a twisted form of redemption, a bid to recapture the intimacy forged in adversity, even if it means defying the law and Lulu's guardianship. All signs point to a brewing kidnapping plot where Valentin sweeps Charlotte away, though her willingness complicates the narrativite's abduction in the eyes of the law. Given his fugitive status and the perils involved, Charlotte might eagerly join him, packing her belongings in excitement for a new chapter. But the act exposes her to risks like international warrants, or rival factions targeting the Casadinis. This scenario delves into the gray areas of consent and danger, portraying Valentin as a flawed anti-hero whose love borders on obsession. Lulu's world would shatter in panic if Valentin executes this vanishing act, snatching Charlotte and disappearing into the night. As a devoted mother fighting to provide stability after her own tumultuous history including comas and family feuds, Lulu might mobilize Port Charles' finest. From Dante Falcone's police resources to Sam McCall's investigative prowess, imagine her frantic calls echoing through the Spencer household, rallying allies like Maxie Jones for emotional support while coordinating a search that spans continents. This crisis could force Lulu to confront her past decisions, perhaps seeking counsel from her brother Lucky, reigniting old family dynamics. The ordeal highlights the terror of parental loss, amplifying the stakes as Lulu battles worry over Charlotte's safety in Valentin's unpredictable world. Next, we will learn about the enigmatic legacy of Cesar Faison, the notorious villain whose shadow still looms over Port Charles. Despite multiple brushes with death, step into the twisted world of General Hospital, where villains like Cesar Faison redefine the art of survival and obsession, leaving a trail of chaos that spans decades. As recent episodes drop cryptic hints about his possible return, it's the perfect time to revisit this master manipulator's dark history, a saga filled with fake identities, deadly schemes, and unbreakable fixations. From his debut in the shadowy underbelly of international espionage to his presumed demises that never quite stick, Faison's story is a roller coaster of deception that has captivated fans since the early 90s. Imagine the chilling atmosphere of Port Charles, where old enemies resurface like ghosts, stirring up buried secrets and fresh fears. We'll delve into his origins, his relentless pursuits, and the crimes that cemented his infamy, all while pondering the latest whispers that he might not be gone for good. This deep dive uncovers how one man's madness has entangled so many lives, weaving a web of intrigue that continues to ensnare the show's most beloved characters. Cesar Faison burst onto the scene in 1990, masquerading as the enigmatic author P.K. Sinclair, a facade that hid his true role as the ruthless former boss of the DVX organization, where he once lorded over agents like Anna Devane with an iron fist. This initial appearance set the stage for his enduring presence, portraying him as a chameleon-like figure who blended intellectual charm with cold-blooded ambition. Picture him in a dimly lit bookstore signing event in Port Charles, charming locals with tales of espionage that mirrored his real-life exploits, all while plotting his next move against old rivals. His DVX ties weren't just professional, they fueled a personal vendetta that would define his arc, drawing from a backstory of orphan beginnings in a war-torn European village, where survival meant mastering the arts of manipulation and disguise. Invented details suggest he honed his skills in underground training camps, learning languages and forgery techniques that later aided his global escapades. This introduction marked Faison as more than a villain, was a force of calculated evil, whose entry into the soap's narrative injected a dose of international thriller elements that elevated the drama beyond local quarrels. At the core of Faison's tormented psyche was an all-consuming obsession with Anna Devane, undeterred even by fathering Peter Auguste known secretly as Heinrich Faison with her twin sister, Alex Devane Merrick. This fixation manifested in bizarre ways, such as commissioning a massive family portrait that depicted him alongside Anna and her daughter Robin Scorpio Drake, as if they formed his ideal domestic bliss. Envision the eerie reveal of this artwork in a hidden lair, with Faison gazing at it longingly during solitary nights, whispering vows of eternal devotion. Despite the biological tie to Peter through Alex, whom he seduced during a high-stakes mission in a foggy London alley, Faison's heart remained chained to Anna's strength and resilience, qualities he both admired and sought to possess. Added inventions point to him collecting mementos like a lock of Anna's hair from their early encounters, stashed in a velvet-lined box alongside forged love letters he penned in her name. This unhealthy attachment not only drove his villainy, but also highlighted themes of unrequited love, twisted into possession, making Faison a tragic figure whose emotions fueled his most heinous acts. Faison's obsession with Anna persisted through fleeting romances with other women, most notably Liesl Obrecht, who bore him to children. Britt Westburn and Nathan Westiet could never fully capture his undivided attention, even as Britt and Nathan matured into accomplished adults, with Britt pursuing a medical career shadowed by her father's crimes, and Nathan becoming a dedicated detective. Faison's mind wandered back to Anna, treating his family as mere extensions of his schemes. Imagine family gatherings tainted by his absence, where Liesl recounted tales of their passionate but toxic affair in a remote Swiss chalet, only for Faison to vanish on another quest to reclaim Anna. Liesl's own fixation on him bordered on madness, taking years of therapy and confrontations first, including a dramatic intervention by her children to break free from the cycle of longing and betrayal. Invented elements include secret letters Faison sent to his kids from hiding, laced with cryptic advice on survival, which Britt later used to navigate her own moral gray areas in Port Charles. This dynamic underscored Faison's inability to form genuine bonds, portraying him as a man whose affections were weapons, leaving emotional wreckage in his wake. Over the years, Faison cheated death multiple times, first presumed gone in an off-screen incident in 1990 that left fans speculating about his fate, only for him to resurface with renewed vigor. This pattern of vanishing acts became his signature, allowing him to regroup and strike anew. The second brush came in 1992, when a catastrophic boat explosion off Venezuela's coast triggered during a botched getaway. Amid a storm-lashed sea seemed to seal his end, yet he clawed his way back as a shadowy cartel member. Picture the wreckage washing ashore, with authorities declaring him lost, while Faison, bandaged and vengeful, plotted from a hidden bunker. He re-emerged in 1999 under the alias Herr Krieg, a German-accented persona that masked his identity during underground dealings. The third presumed death occurred in 2000, courtesy of an explosive confrontation in Port Charles Harbor, orchestrated by the cunning Helena Casadini, who rigged the vessel with timed detonators during a moonlit showdown. These repeated deaths added a layer of immortality to his character, fueling fan theories and keeping the suspense alive, as he always returned more dangerous than before. Faison's reappearances were marked by audacious crimes, including multiple kidnappings of Anna first in 1990 alongside Robin, where he forced the creation of that infamous family portrait in a lavish but isolated mansion, and again post-Venezuela as part of his cartel operations. These abductions weren't mere power plays, they were elaborate stagings of his fantasies, complete with candlelit dinners and coerced confessions of love. Under the Herr Krieg guise, he integrated into Helena's schemes, blending his expertise with her Casadini machinations for maximum chaos. In 2018, Faison's reign appeared to end definitively when Jason Morgan shot him in the chest during a tense standoff in an abandoned warehouse, leading to a fatal heart attack 5 days later, after Peter cruelly yanked away his emergency call button in a hospital room filled with beeping monitors. This demise felt final, with witnesses confirming his passing amid a swirl of family revelations. Yet, recent hints from Valentin Casadini to Jack Brennan suggest Faison might still be alive, perhaps faking his death once more through elaborate medical deceptions involving body doubles and bribed coroners. Faison's criminal ledger stretches endlessly, encompassing a litany of atrocities from 1990 to 2018, where he repeatedly emerged from the grave to kidnap, poison, and terrorize Port Charles. He smuggled priceless diamonds through hidden networks, planted devastating bombs in public venues like a near miss at the Nurses Ballant in 1990 to unleash a plan to disperse a deadly nerve gas he engineered in 1990, a toxin derived from secret lab experiments in an underground facility. His mastery of hypnotism shone in 1999 when he captured and brainwashed Lucky Spencer into servitude, programming him with subliminal commands during sessions in a dimly lit chamber, all in cahoots with Helena. Faison also orchestrated the abduction and conditioning of Drew Kane, stripping away his identity through psychological torture in a remote island compound, And shockingly, he caused the death of his own son Nathan West through a fatal shooting amid a web of betrayals involving Peter and Helena.